markets, information technology, and other matters of great importance. And hopefully my talk is brief, because I went against my own tenet of not creating slides that are too detailed and overly complicated. So I apologize for that. A week ago, when I took this endeavor on to make predictions, I started thinking about making predictions, and my thoughts on it are that making a predictions, number one, requires a state of mind and a thinking about the future. So it takes some dedication to that. It's a challenge to actively create predictions. You can think about it, but actually to predict something takes active thought. Three, I think it requires subject knowledge, some original thought, and imagining outcomes. I have a silly example of that I'm going to predict the Denver Broncos will win the Super Bowl in a couple weeks. Clearly, that would be absurd. Four, I think there's a concept of prediction precision. You can make a general prediction like, oh, renewable energy is going to continue to grow. I don't think that says too much, versus a more specific prediction like the S&P 500 is going to end the year at 5,280 points. And the following predictions are my own, and but I did plagiarize some things, so I made note of that. And like we were talking about at the beginning, it would be interesting to review your previous year's predictions to see if you were correct. Some zeitgeist meme and colloquialisms. I like those words. My number one prediction is that culinary research will prove that massage and kill is actually bad. Number two, that the quote or the saying that's a great question will be replaced that's a stupid question. If I had a nickel every time somebody said that's a great question, I literally hear it like 3 times a day if you're watching the news or something. I just think every question is a great question. It's only stupid questions that should be pointed out. Predict that Microsoft will buy a gaming company for tens of billions of dollars. That the Zoom app will sputter as users realize there's something better for us. And that lastly, Texas will suffer from power outages and torrential flooding that are caused by earthquakes, which are caused by oil drilling. So in the crypto, blockchain, gaming, Web 3.0, I just had my head looking at this lately, just because I see these commercials for DraftKings and FanDuel all the time, and so it got me interested. I'm not a sports person. I am a gambler. I guess that's why I'm interested. But I think that DraftKings will be a good stock investment. It seems to be the only public company. FanDuel is a private company, and today DraftKings is around $22. It's dropped in price over the last year by like 4 times, but I think could be a good investment. I think I have a lot of stock picks in automobile, semiconductor, healthcare, and lastly, also, I think NFTs are going to wane because people will lose interest in owning junk, despite what Mark Zuckerberg thinks. I think the metaverse concept will be dissolved into Web 3.0. That's a whole, I just made that sentence up, but not exactly sure what it means. This whole thing of the metaverse is, I don't know, kind of silly to me so far. It's just like virtual reality. But I do remain positive on blockchain technology, providing distributed and open solutions. Okay, internet security. Okay, so I plagiarized this. I just read this and it rang true to me. Number one, we'll continue to see businesses devastated by cybersecurity vulnerabilities until the industry demands better. Number two, businesses will start getting mad at programmers that are not checking their code. I think this directly affects most of us, or a lot of us that are here in technology. And it's time to rethink how we approach cybersecurity and software development. I know we've been talking about moving security, shifting it to the left, and I'm all for DevSecOps. So lastly, my thoughts are developers will continue not to integrate security, and DevSecOps is not going to be adopted as a best practice, I guess, mostly by upper management, is my prediction. Again, these aren't new thoughts. And lastly, kind of along with what Rachel was talking about, the cloud native trends, and I plagiarized this as well from the new stack. So one, we see the rise of WebAssembly in cloud native environment. WebAssembly is also known as WASM. I think that's fun to say. I don't have direct experience with WASM, but it's basically a way of compiling other languages like C, C++, and Rust, and running it, I believe, in the browser or in the cloud somehow. Number two, we'll see new distributions of Kubernetes. That's a broad topic in itself. Three, increased focus on cloud native security. Four, KubeVirt is going mainstream. And five, GitOps becomes the standard for continuous deployment. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I have each one of those 5 bullets. I have further information about it, but I don't know. I can't speak too intelligently about it. So I'll just leave it at that.
Nice. Thanks, Jeff. Any questions?
Did you make that Microsoft gaming acquisition prediction last week when you were making these slides? Because they're like already super right.
I'm a genius. No, I tried to trick you all. You just take today's news and then you put it in your presentation and you look like a genius, right?
I was very impressed.
Well, don't be.
That's a good technique. At the end of the year, we'll all make some new ones of these as though they were at the beginning of the year. Make ourselves look really smart.
We do have a question from the chat from Martin, which is, do you see any useful applications of NFTs?
Oh boy. Yeah, this is from a layperson's understanding of NFTs, but I have been keeping my mind on it. I mean, it seems mostly centered around like digital art work and other digital assets. But I've heard talk from very knowledgeable blockchain experts about how it can be expanded to somehow owning other valuable assets, not just the ones like, oh, I own the icon for Pac-Man or something like that. That's what I think is silly.
Yeah, I too have heard it's like a way to invest your money in something that appreciates value and makes you seem culturally plugged in some way. If you're a wealthy person who has maxed out your retirement accounts, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the store of value increases, but I've heard things like too, like if you go to a concert and then you, instead of having this concert paper ticket, you have a digital asset that shows that you were there experiencing it, and then that's somehow valuable as an NFT.
Cool, thanks.
I'm most excited to see how the kale prediction turns out. Are we still going to be massaging kale at the end of the year or not?
Yeah, if you ask my wife, she'll say definitely. But I challenge her, like I would challenge her to a taste test between the massaged versus the unmassaged kale. Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to revisit that prediction next year's Tech Confluence. See how it goes.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. That was awesome.